DOA.
All right, hello everybody and welcome back. This is episode 2. We've made it to episode 2. This is amazing. I didn't think this day would ever happen. So I'm your host, Steve FLETCH, and co-hosting again, Mitch Hartman. Mitch, how's it going?
Here.
You're here. You made it back.
Yeah, we came back.
This is it. This could be the end, but we'll take it, right?
Hell yeah.
We're going to do questions from the listeners, all 2 of them. Seems like people like listening to us talk about pointless stuff. So we'll keep going with that. So we're going to get started. Mitch, do you want to start it off?
Sure. We talked so much about East Coast stuff last time. And obviously we're both so East Coast. But let's go. Tangar says, we talked about East Coast last episode. Who's your personal top 5 West Coast pros?
Now, before you start this one, Tangar, his name is Danny Garcia. So
yeah, but it's not that Danny Garcia.
Well, I remember when we were doing Northern Co, he started following. And I was like, Danny Garcia follows us. And my partner's like, it's not him. I think he already did it ahead. He was just like, yeah, not that Danny Garcia. What was it? Top 5 West Coast pros.
It's so hard because how many people are really from the West Coast that you think of right away as West Coast people?
And it's not one of my favorite, but Curran Caples. That's it.
Shit.
Yeah. This is like the hardest question ever.
Obviously, Mike Carroll.
Okay, there you go. Chico's
up there.
Henry Sanchez. So now it's gone to just San Francisco.
Oh, that's why I was like, who's from LA that's actually from LA?
Ross Norman. Ross Norman's from Santa Barbara, California. So I'm going to put him on there.
There you go. So is Arizona considered the West Coast?
No. As much as Florida is the East Coast, but sure.
Okay. Well, it's close. Well, we said Kareem didn't count as New York, so Kareem's got to be on the list.
You could put him there. I think he works both ways.
Skating-wise, but not person-wise, I'll go Dill.
Yeah, totally. You got Van Engelen.
So that's a pretty good list.
Yeah, I think that's – it's funny with these lists, too.
Carroll's definitely number 1 for me.
That's so funny. He's not even on mine. I appreciate him way more now. Never was a fan. Now I'm like –
oh, wow, really?
Yeah, I never – we had this kid out here, though. Our local hometown hero loved it, pretended he was him, basically. It was like when we skated with this dude, we could only listen to Mike Carroll songs. He would only ride Mike Carroll boards. And it was like anything in his car, it was just like Mike Carroll songs playing. That was it. I hate this.
Yeah, that's too far.
Yeah, it made me hate Mike Carroll. Aaron Cairo, you could put him on the list. Professional skateboarder from the Bay Area. Oh my God.
I've never seen one of those videos.
Really?
Never once.
Wow.
Everybody talks about it, and I have a frame of reference for it, but I've never once seen one Braille or whatever the hell else that stuff is called.
Man, we just went down a dark hole right now.
Oh, wait, no, I'll take that back. I saw the one Andy Schrock video because Angel made me watch it, where he talks about some bullshit about a stealth mission to Love Park. And it just was the most fraudulent shit I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, they're so bad. They're almost like you want to watch them because they're so bad. Yeah.
And it's not in I'm too cool to know who they are. It's I really just have no fucking clue.
You're a good man for that one. A better man than I am. Yeah, so you got Mike Carroll. I mean, I guess it goes back to there's got to be, it's California.
But I think of big California companies like Baker. Nobody from Baker.
There's nobody that does it. Yeah, the coolest guy on Baker was Mike Maldonado, and he's not from California.
But even Reynolds is from Florida. Greco's from
Connecticut.
Maine, Connecticut. I said Arizona because Ellington's awesome.
Well, isn't he from? And he's even from. He is awesome, but he's even from Alaska originally. But he did live in Arizona, I think. But yeah,
that's right.
But I think both. I think yeah, really weird. Jerry Fowler. He was from. I would consider him more of an East Coast guy, but he is from California.
Yes, yeah. I always think of him as a Boston guy, but you're right.
Marcus McBride. Oh, this should be a lot easier. You want to move on?
Yeah.
Metro Retro. What was the best trick that Herbert Brown did that blew your mind?
It's got to be the switch tray fakey Manny
At the pier?
at Pier 7.
See, it's funny too. So when he did that, and he was telling me, and we're messaging, and he stuck fakey 360 flip out, and he couldn't land it. Yeah. Well, the first thing I ever saw of her, which made me even like remotely like, who is this dude? Was Comfort posted on an Instagram story of her doing a switch nose manual from flat on the top of this pyramid, and I was just like,
oh shit.
Yeah, and I was like, who the hell is this dude? Like, where did this guy come from? You've never posted this guy before. He does like the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Like, and he's just like, Chris and Comfort's just like, oh, that's Herb. Yeah, he's always skating here. And I'm like, what? I've never heard of this dude. I was like, I want to give him boards. The rest is history. But that blew my mind. Just like this dude I've never seen before from a shop I've been following for, 8-9 years, and seeing that. Yeah, he killed the pier. And that was like in no time at all. And there's more that Ryan's saving for his video. Yeah, so there's other Herb footage from that trip that hasn't been released yet.
Speaking of Comfort, Chris hit me up this week saying good stuff about this show and all that. It was sick to hear back.
Yeah, Chris is a good dude.
He's a good dude.
He gets it. He totally gets it. And it's nice to have shop owners out there like that,
Yeah, for sure.
He appreciates it.
Can we go one more Tangar question?
Yeah, totally.
All right. So do you have any good Kayla stories from Philly?
So I was with Anthony Papalardo's from Long Island, not the writer, the skater, but I think the writer also skates, so we can't narrow it down like that. But anyway, we were skating, and I remember Jimmy Gorecki was with us, and we were at you'll know these spots better than me. We were at some hubba in Philly, like I guess on the outskirts of it or whatever.
The orange
like
one?
Yes, that was it. So it was like a 10-stair.
Yeah, MLK hubbas.
Yeah, and we're skating there. It was funny, like the little local kids there were ripping on Gorecki, and they just started making fun of him. Kalis goes over to him, and he's like, what are you making fun of this dude for, He's like, he'll kick your ass. He's like, he had a college scholarship for wrestling at, I want to say it was Temple, and they're just like, I don't know, whatever. And Kalis is like, listen, man, he's like, this is like our job. You guys should be cool. You guys should even get into this stuff. Like, we're here. He's telling these little kids this. It was funny. And he's like, I got my own shoe. And the kid's like, no, you don't. And I was just there, like the random dude with Anthony, just like not, he goes over to me and he's like, whose shoe is this? And I was like, yeah, it's your shoe. Like, it was kind of awkward. I was like, yeah, it's your shoe. He's like, what's it say on? I was like, yeah, Josh Kalis, and he's like, see, that's my shoe. And this is, and he's like, see, that's my car over there. And, and the kid's like, I don't think they really cared, but they left. They stopped picking on Gorecki. But who did handle it like a champ, because he was like, he didn't like, take the kids and launch them down the stairs or anything. It was funny. We were there, and that dude John Crozer was there. Yeah, so I think that was like Kalis. I think always looked out for that kid, and he was there.
Yeah, he was cool.
He was the best one there. But I guess I don't know if he didn't fit in with what everybody else wanted to do or whatever. But he was super good there. I think he nollie no slid that thing like 100 times.
Yeah. So my Kalis story isn't directly skating either. So when I worked at G Spot, we had a premiere for Dying to Live, because Cole had just gotten on, and it was like a huge thing. So they were doing a tour where they were like taking the whole team and flying to different cities in the country to premiere it. They rented out a movie theater, like a legit big ass movie theater. We all walk in and we're like, we go into the theater ahead of time. We're all getting seats, and they let these kids in, and you can see there's this big ass crowd outside. So the theater fills. They show the video. We come out, and there's so many people everywhere, like this, and it's like in a mall. So there's a ridiculous crowd of people, and everybody's trying to get in for the second showing. And the mall people are freaking out. The movie theater people are not having it. So they shut it down. No second showing.
Oh, wow.
All these people, so many pissed off people. And I guess like Kalis and all those guys drove up from the city, because it was like the movie theater's out in the burbs by where G-Spot was. So it was like Kalis, I think Gorecki was there, KT, and Rob Welsh, of all people. They were, obviously just bummed that they weren't going to get to see it. So Jamie worked something out and I guess talked to us. So we wound up going back to the shop with just those guys, 2 or 3 people that worked at the shop, all the Zero guys, and then those 4. And we watched Dying to Live with them at like just on the big TV in the shop. Yeah, so it was cool. That night was actually really fun. We went and did that. Those guys left, and then we went and skated this like loading dock. We had a barrier that we would take to this loading dock and skate it, just like off the drop. So they all went, and like, so it was like the first time I'd ever seen John Alley skate in person. And like that's when he was like, really going for it.
Yeah.
And he was like, that was that time where it was like, that was the first time you were seeing somebody that could like kickflip into anything.
I was just gonna say, yeah, did he kickflip tail slide something?
Oh yeah, kickflip everything, something.
Wow.
But yeah, that was a cool night. But it was just funny that like we drove all the way up here. We're not going to get to see it, so we had to like figure out something.
It's also funny. It's just for a zero video.
Yeah, but at that point, man, like, because I mean, I guess it's with Kalis and Jamie being close and whatever. That like, I mean, anytime we ran into Josh, he was always like the nicest. Even we went out to LA in like 2012 or so, and we ran into like this when Jaquan was first being skated again. All the DGK guys were there filming for Parental Advisory. Josh recognized us and like couldn't have been nicer. Like, took pictures with us just to be like, oh, we ran into Kalis here, knowing him from home.
And he still kills it.
Oh, yeah, just as good.
Yeah, if not better,
Good shit. What was that 2 years ago? He still tray flipped the trash can off the bum?
Yeah. It's even that like
20
DIY
years
edit
later or something?
Yeah, and that DIY edit they put out was like the coolest thing.
Yeah, the fact that he just comes back here and films with like the Sabotage dude still.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like a level of respect that you can't knock it. He's just that dude.
Yeah, and he can wear DCs and ride DGK boards, and it's still like, all right, that's cool. We'll come back to Tangar later. He's got one more here I think we can both work with. I'm not wasting this on the Hayden Cole one. Buttholes. No. Like, I don't even know why I entertain this right now. It's not a question. It's terrible. Blocked. You're now blocked from everything.
You blocked Cobra.
Yeah. All right. Shaden responded to your question. Is Chunky in it? Which would be Ben Havran. So, no, he's not on the podcast, and he quit DOA for Zero Flow. So, no Ben Havran here. I wish. Ben's always welcome to come on. That would be interesting. Grinded a 56 stair rail. That was pretty cool.
That was insane. That was some Naja shit.
Yeah, it was so insane. There was like dust flying off of it as he's grinding down it.
Yeah, 'cause it's probably never been touched by anything before that.
Ever. So funny. I remember they sent me a still like video of it. Like I think there's a second long angle. And it was like, it looks like he was rollerblading. Like, I was like, what is this roller? I was like, oh my God, that's Ben. Like, what is this? And then Eric sent me the footage, and I was just like, wow, he just grinded the biggest rail in the universe. But
56 stairs.
Yeah. So Shaden, sorry to ruin this one for you. All right, Mitch, your turn.
All right, so let's get skate nerdy. Point and Click said, opinions of wheel graphics, side in, bearing shields off, or what other weird shit skaters do that's cool. So I feel like we started to talk about this last week with the little bit of grip tape off the nose or the tail.
Right.
Pattern thing now, like I always do it. Wheels, I always go all graphics out. I know that's not a popular.
That is not popular at all.
Way to do it, but it's just how I do it.
They wear off. I mean, wheels all look the same after a week, regardless. We used to do 3 in, 1 out. I remember doing that. Now I just do them all. I do all the graphics in. And with the Spitfires, it's weird because they have graphics on both sides.
I don't really have any other crazy shit. I've been riding the same set of Swiss for like 3 years. They don't go bad.
I'm like really bad with bearings. Have I ever told you this? Like, I go through bearing. I do not skate anywhere near close to fast or even like normal speed. And I go through bearings like crazy. That's weird.
Knock on wood, I haven't broken a bearing in forever.
I don't break them. They just stop working. So I don't know what it is. It is really weird. Because I even went and I bought Swiss. I was like, I'm a big boy. I'm an adult. I'm going to go treat myself, get some Swiss. And I think like 2 months in, 3 months in, they just didn't. They were squeaking. It's weird. Man. And I don't over tighten them or anything. I don't know what the hell I do with them. Yeah, so I'll ride them for like a year with the shields on. And then eventually I'll just pop them off because I just like it to be loud. I hate brand new bearings. That's like a huge, I hate it. My board always feels like it's like soggy or something. Yeah, like it's waterlogged. Yeah, you got to get, especially when because there's greased. Okay, this is bad. Do you remember, you probably do, I'm sure you have a lot of knowledge on this one because of Chris Cole, but the Speed Demons bearings. So they used to have a Speed Demons oiled and there was Speed Demon greased. And the greased ones, for like a week, your board sounded like it was waterlogged because it was a thick grease in there and it just made this like, the oiled ones didn't last as long, but they sounded way better off the rip. But it was funny. But once you broke in the greased ones, they were fine. It would go away. But that was like the worst. It was like, oh my God, my board sounds like crap.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've been riding Swiss or some kind of like Skate One bearings forever because Mike was on Mini Logo forever, so he always had bearings. So I
Mike
never
McCarthy.
was like, yeah,
yes,
that guy.
I know him.
So, but
he's
yeah,
very,
he was
very noble. He gave up his spot. So, you know, he's a good dude, that Mike McCarthy. But that's cool. So you always had
So yeah, he always had. They used to send him so much product that, you know, we always had bearings and whatever. Like, so I've just always been never really looked into other stuff.
But they make the best stuff, bearing wise.
Well, bearing wise,
yeah. Be very clear on that. They make the best bearings. I mean, reds. I usually just go with reds. Anything. I tried Bronsons. They were terrible. And
yeah, I don't know. I don't mess with any of that stuff.
They suck. Don't even. Kyle Remendino was like, you got to get these. These are the best.
You might as well be riding on delays.
Do you remember that? I was. You gave me a set.
Oh shit!
You gave me a set to try. And I did. I tried them. They were whatever.
Yeah, because I wasn't gonna ride them.
They might have broke on me. They like seized up. Yeah, I don't pop the shields on them either. I've never. It's weird.
Well, evidently, yours don't last long enough.
They don't last.
Have to worry about.
Yeah, I gotta protect them the best I can. It's so weird. I have no idea why. Maybe sand gets in them or something. I don't know. But yeah, that I always have to have Allen key hardware, black grip tape. We went into the wheels, colored trucks.
Yeah, white wheels only.
Yeah, colored.
I haven't ridden colored trucks in a long time.
I don't think it would bother me.
See, but now I'm kind of crazy because I can only ride polished silver. I can't do the raws.
Oh, the raws are the best.
Because I don't even like touching them.
Really, in my head, I always thought they grind better.
Yeah, but there's something about that texture. Like, I don't know, it weirds me out.
Wow, I learned something new. Like the little stuff, you know, got to have the right sticker job.
Yeah,
I always have to have
get
stickers.
made fun of for the amount of stickers I put on.
Do you get made fun of?
I mean, yeah.
They call you NASCAR?
Yeah, or it's just like I like the way it looks. I'd rather make it mine, you know?
I always think it's the best. That's like my favorite part is like new board. All right, I get to sticker this up. And did you ever see anybody with like really bad sticker jobs and you're just like, oh, this dude sucks. Like you don't even know how to put stickers on your board.
Oh, totally. But then there's somebody like Kai. Kai puts so much time into like setting up a board. Like he rides boards till they're dead, like completely dead. Like where I like, there was a couple times where I've literally stomped his board because I'm like, I need to put you out of your fucking misery. Like you're riding this thing and it's affecting the way you're skating.
Yeah. Like, no, kill it. Get it out of here.
But he spends so much time because he like, I don't know if he does it now because he's making his own, but for years he like would just spray paint the whole board and then coordinate the stickers to the way he painted it and all kinds of wild shit.
Yeah, I remember he used to do it. He would do it for people too, I think.
Yeah, and crazy as grip tape. He would put so much time into the grip tape.
Man, more power to him. I saw, you know, it's funny. Awesome skateboarder, love his skating. Here we could throw also into our California list, Vincent Alvarez.
Okay.
But I saw something he posted on Instagram like a couple days ago, like his board, and it looked like the sticker job was terrible. It was really bad. I'm actually going to show you later. It was horrible. I was like, no, you're like the best skater. Like you can't go out like this. But it's also kind of cool that dude's such a good
you're just
skater.
that clueless, like about that aspect of it.
Yeah, like he's such a good skater, and but it was funny. It was like one on the tail and one under like the wheel, and
yeah, it's like you're affecting your photo incentive, dog.
I was so bummed, like no. And he posted it. It seemed like he was proud of it. But his skating's sick. He seems cool. All right, Helvraiser, Andy Helvey. What are you two's favorite ledge tricks to do? No, I can only do like 3 ledge tricks anyway, so. But I do like to, if I can do a switch crooked grind or a fakie frontside nose slide on a ledge, I'm happy. Those are my 2 favorite to do. Those are like probably the only 2 I ever do. But
they're both good ones, though. Yeah, definitely back 180 nose grinds. That's like the go-to, but it's definitely my favorite. Yeah, I've never been able to figure out the full 360 rotation. So that's like on my list of shit to try and learn.
There you go for 2022. Uyghur over the grate and came out in the middle.
Which is insane.
So insane. So insane. I think that's the best trick over it. Flip in, flips out. I don't care. That was like insane. That dude has the best tricks. The best tricks.
Yeah, I think I'm not like a completely 180 into it. I'm like a 145 where like it's pinched crooked when I turn around. So I can't get that extra turn that way. You have to be like completely on top to turn out that way.
Those are hard. I used to be able to do the other way, 180 nose grind, 180 over the ledge. But that you just got to get in and like, because you're on it. I know what you're saying though. You got to be full on it and then turn it out.
Yeah, that's my friend Bill that I film with. He's got the front 180 nose grind, every variation, regular and switch, and they're so good. I'm so jealous because I can't. I have such a bad frontside 180 control that I always wind up doing the slip out over the top when I try and do them.
That's funny. That's me with any blunt slides. I just fall on my back.
I just miss the ledge, over rotate, and my wheels slide across and flat to my back.
It's always funny how people have that. Like, there's frontside people and backside people.
Definitely.
Which I was a backside pro. My friend Chris, growing up, Chris Corso, he was always backside. And it was insane. Like, oh, I can backside tail slide. I can backside nose blunt, you know? And I'm like, well, I can frontside tail slide kind of. And, you know, it's like, man, he frontside crooked grinds, which is like a backside trick.
Yeah, even when we were like skating rails, I was frontboarding a rail a million times before I would backboard it.
It's so insane. I remember reading this Tommy Guerrero interview like 20-something years ago, you know? And they were asking about tricks, and then he said something like, yeah, frontside board slides, it always feels like it's new to me. Like, that trick feels so hard. And I think that implanted itself in my brain. And ever since, I was always like, this trick's impossible. Like, every time it's the hardest trick. So I think I make it harder on myself. I know Andy's favorite trick is probably not only frontside nose slide, he does those on ledges. So there you go, Andy Helvey. We're going to go to a song, because I was told that 2 to 3 songs is too many. So we'll go to one song and we'll be right back.
Y'all, I'm getting ready to put y'all up on something, man. Yo, when you see something ill, you know what I mean? That shit is woke. Anything ill you see is woke. Nigga have a big 6 at the curb, that's woke. Okay. Especially if he got the fully equipped kid on it, it's woke. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I had this bad bitch uptown, she was woke. Had me fucked up in the head, I mean, whoa. Bought the bitch diamonds and pearls, I mean, whoa. Should've seen them shit shining on the wrist. Now money ain't a problem, see my dough is like, pulled out my bankroll on y'all niggas like, lost the boot shrimp from 210 like, faggot wanna peep my blueprints, I'm like, had to hit the brakes on y'all niggas like, niggas getting both on my block like, coming home within a half an hour like, front like they had the manpower like, more or less, more so, I rip guitar so I live the fast life, come through in the ball slow like, whoa. My niggas like dough, like dro, nitro, my flow, nice clothes like, whoa. East paint with cocaine like, whoa. Now I'm Doc Strange in the range like, whoa. 100 miles an hour switching lanes like, whoa. Plus I'm getting brain from this chick like, whoa. Finger near nigga asshole like, whoa. Team floors, bitches and bitches like, whoa. 9-9 Jag Benz coupe like, whoa. Keep them cheese lines on your blocks like, whoa. Grenade through your window, bitch, like, whoa. Love to see me do this shit like, whoa. Niggas put me through this shit like, whoa. So I'ma go toe to toe, blow for blow like, whoa. And rip guitar soul, live the fast life. Come through in the ball slow like, whoa. My niggas like dough, like dro, nitro, my flow, nice clothes like, whoa. We bag it, then flip it like, whoa. Cars we jack it, then strip it like, whoa. Fully equipment, front to back like, whoa. Spitting on fiends that come for crack like, whoa. Asking for shorts and shit, nigga like, whoa. Half on this quote, now nigga that's whoa. flow so properly, you'll see I'm whoa. Ain't no stopping me, I'm deep like whoa. Guns be popping, beat, we creep like whoa. Hear my name in these streets, it's like whoa. Must I pound the concrete like whoa. Fill his bitch ass, head to feet like whoa. Your man ain't whoa. The judge ain't whoa. COs ain't whoa. POs ain't whoa. Play yourself, I get the G.I. Joe. DIC, K-Riders ain't whoa. I rip guitar soul, live the fast life. Come through in the ball slow like whoa. My niggas like dough, nitro, my flow, nice clothes like whoa. Niggas getting money in VA is whoa. Honey's looking right in ATL is whoa. Niggas flipping hoes in Chi-Town is whoa. Bitches taking paper in LA is whoa. Niggas stacking dough in DC is whoa. PR and DR hold me down like whoa. Ballers in Detroit hold me down like whoa. Niggas in New Orleans getting money is whoa. Boston and Jersey motherfuckers is whoa. Florida niggas and Philly niggas is whoa. Tampa and Texas, Cleveland is whoa. Memphis and Little Rock, my niggas is whoa. Panama niggas, they hold me down like whoa. My New York peoples, they hold me down like whoa. Bad boy nigga, word is born, we whoa. Alumni bitches, word is born, we whoa. And CSC, motherfuckers is whoa. My nigga fuck out, word is born, he whoa. That's just how the story goes. Whoever I forgot on this shit is whoa. Oh man, with this whoa. HP, like sorry. PPPR, nigga. The beat I got from Big Buck Wild is whoa. That nigga Black Rob on the mic is whoa.
All right, and we're back. So, Mitch, you want to start this one off?
All right. So speaking of Mike McCarthy,
Oh boy.
he gave us one because he loves the most random shit in the world. Said company you would bring back if done right. Mine would be Listen or iPath.
Oh, so he answered his own question.
Yeah, before because Mike does to do things his way.
It's like Mike's here with us.
So I mean, dude, I love Listen. So
Yes.
Oh my God, how talking about those West Coast pros? How did I not mention Danny Montoya or Rob Gonzalez?
Right? There we go. So that's pretty cool because it seems like that question is going to keep going throughout the whole night.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally. Those two were.
Oh, Chad Timpton. Damn it. So yeah. So he said brands you could bring back if they're done right. But I think bootleg.
Now, how would it have to be done right?
I think it would just need somebody with that kind of the same direction that it was going at that point. Hell, half those dudes still skate.
Yeah, it's funny though, right? Because if you could get Eldridge back on, paying
Right, like Tony Montgomery still rips. Eldridge still rips. Scott Kane still rips.
Yeah, it's
and then I mean they had that new talent that like turned into, if they would have had a chance.
Yeah.
But I just love that company as their direction, like with the Jay Strickland art stuff. It's funny, I didn't meet Strickland until years after, like whenever Action 2.0 was going on and he was like living in Philly. I met him a bunch of times then and he was like super cool, like, or like I kind of like didn't know just from like hearing stories of like, back in the day with like all the Baker and all that shit. But I mean, meeting him, he was pretty good dude.
Especially like even like I said, Bootleg 3000. I watched that video so many times.
Yeah.
And it had
somebody could make like a full speed edit of that whole video.
Yeah, it'll be 5 minutes.
Probably be a half hour shorter.
But it was a good video, man. I mean, I wish Action came back right. I almost thought they were going to do it. Almost.
Yeah.
If they just made it a legacy brand and just reissued old shoes and you had Kareem and maybe you got somebody else, not like, it was so weird. It was like Jamie Tancounty and all these weird dudes on that make no sense. And now they have like, if you go on the Instagram, it's like fashion models. Like what are
like all these skinny pants dudes.
Yeah, it's so bad. And but if they came back and did it right, I was almost like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then it's like, nope, they made a vulcanized slip-on. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
That are all at Ross now.
Yeah, are they really?
Oh yeah, I saw the whole line.
Wow, like who's buying that?
No idea.
If done right, I thought it almost was like, all right, cool. Because they had the Guy Mariano, even though it wasn't a Guy Mariano, which kind of sucks. but they had that Genesis shoe or whatever. And they were doing the reissue and they were numbered, like, because I always said, like, with the cosplay kids, like, yeah, you guys are all into DC, that's cool, but Action was the cool shit. Oh, you can't find that. Like, hunt those down, then you can, then talk to me.
They're all falling apart.
Yeah. But I was like, DC was cool, but we were all into Action. Action was amazing. Rasa Libre, which is going to come back, I think.
What? Really?
Yeah, I think there's a Instagram for it, and they're bringing back boards for the 9th time. So,
wow.
If Rasa Libre may be done right, it's funny too, because I always think that was a brand that even like the second version of it was still cool. Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't too bastardized. Just they were at a, weren't in deluxe anymore. That's like ADI when it turned to 82. Exactly. At first, it was still cool. Then they had that weird one with American Dream when it was like Dustin Charlton was on.
Yeah,
so weird. What else could they? There's so many brands that went under. Listen, totally could come back.
Yeah, I mean, it had like a cool vibe to it, and like that was another one where it's like they found those young dudes that became like Evan Smith was like 14 and on tour with them.
Yeah.
Not that I'm the biggest like Evan Smith fan, but I mean the dude's obviously making it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean even then when it turned to Boulevard, I guess same thing still, but Tiago.
Yeah.
Like those dudes were doing something right finding these dudes.
Oh. Yeah, they were super cool. Like I met those guys a couple of times when I was out there. And like Toya and Rob G, they were both like, couldn't have been nicer. They sent Mike a trick for his part. Rob G filmed a trick and sent it to Mike, and it's like a guest trick in his part.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm shocked Mike was into that.
He loved it.
That's so weird.
Yeah. We still hunt listen boards. Like we're all over eBay and shit whenever they come up. There's not many out there, but if anybody's got any, get at me.
Because it doesn't seem like a Mike brand. You got any other ones?
I think that's it.
Yeah. Let's see.
Because I don't know. They're like we were talking about last week. There's so many brands now that we don't need more.
Yeah, you're telling me there's like so many. I don't know anybody who would start a brand in the last few years. So I got one from this Michael D 138. He's got a bunch here. All right, so this is just a random one. How did you decide to use South Central wood? So years and years ago, my friend worked at KCDC, and they were using them. And I remember I was getting boards, and I was like, I really don't want to use Chapman when Chapman was still pressing boards. I don't really like them. And my friend was like, call South Central. And I was like, what's a South Central? Like, I never heard of them. Mm-hmm. They call South Central. He's like, we use their boards. We use them for KCDC. So I went to KCDC and I saw the boards and I was like, oh, these look good. And then I hit them up and they were super easy to deal with at the time. And everybody seemed to like the boards, and it was just way better than dealing with Chapman. It was cheaper, seemed quicker, even though it was further away. Even with shipping, it was cheaper. Like they had different concaves.
Now they're willing to press boards with no concave.
Yeah. Well, the flat as fuck boards are, I probably said this before, but they're a vert mold for like 9-inch boards. So that they're not.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So they're made for vert boards, but on a small board, it just makes it super mellow and, mellower kicked. Because I guess it's made for a board with like a 15, 16-inch wheelbase, so the kick starts a lot later on a regular board. But yeah, no, they're good people over there at South Central. And what did I hear? That wood shop news, that there was this Christian company in Colorado, it was Anno Domini. They went under and like bankrupt, but they took money from a whole bunch of people.
Oh, shit.
Kept it. And yeah, I know people who were getting boards from them. And then I was just like, and I feel bad because I had got samples just to try them. And Herb was like, that they're the best boards. Herb loved them. And I was like, all right.
It's good thing you didn't dump any money into it.
Yeah, well, yeah. It didn't make any sense for me. I got a good thing with South Central. So they weren't offering anything better.
Yeah.
But I was telling people like, all right, if you're having problems with emails or whatever, like this guy's very responsive. But people were like, yeah, he just wanted money up front. And I was like, whoa, I would have never done that. That's rule number 1, never pay a wood shop full up front. If you have to pay them up front, there's a problem. for all
Yeah,
you.
it seems iffy.
Yeah, all the people who are going to ask how to start their own brand. But that's rule number one. Don't ever.
Rule number one is don't.
Don't ever pay full up front unless it's like randomly if you were doing boards and it was somebody like Generator, you know what I mean, like a well reputable brand, like maybe you'd have to do whatever, but I've never heard of that. Buyer beware.
Kai sent me like 20 questions. Some of them are great. So he goes, tell us about that time you turned one broken Spitfire into an internet debacle.
Well, tell us about
So
this.
this was right when Formula 4s came out. And I got a set. We went street skating. 15 minutes in the session, I hear like this weird noise. I'm like, I thought these things weren't supposed to get flat spots. I turn my board over and there's literally a crack left side to right side and then all the way through to the center of the wheel. It's just split in half. And it was like literally right when Formula 4s like hit the market. So I posted it on Instagram and like tagged them and hashtagged it split fires.
Oh wow, that's
I got a DM within like 20 minutes of like, hey, we'll do whatever it takes to make this right. Like, but can you please take that post down?
So did you take it down?
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be an asshole, but it was just funny that it was like, it just made me laugh. I wasn't trying to do it to like shit on anybody. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, this sucks. I'm skating and this happened. But I mean, I get it. I'm not trying to like make them look bad either.
Yeah, no, but
it was just so funny that I was like, fuck. I'm like, I hope I didn't like bum anybody out. That wasn't what I was going for.
Right, I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Split fires.
But this thing literally just split right in half as soon as like. I think I still have the picture. I'll have to send it to you.
Did that happen to anybody else? Did you hear about this when they first?
I don't know. I mean, they made good on it. I think they sent me like 2 or 3 sets of wheels to make up for it. But it was just funny that they were like didn't want that out there.
Prize fighter wheels don't split in half. Neither do Formula 4s anymore. Give Ray a little plug out there. Prize fighter.
Yeah, Ray's the best.
He is the best. And he's got a good wheel. Just he doesn't make any small enough for me.
He's got to go 50s.
Yeah, I wish. We can go. Here's another Michael D138. What do you dislike about Picture Show?
Wait, is this the same person that asked if the beef from Killing Floor is real?
Yeah, he also asked that one. So we can throw all these in there. So it's what do I dislike about Picture Show? It reminds me of Format. That stupid brand Format. I just don't like it. It's not my thing.
I don't really have an opinion on Picture Show, but Tyler and Kevin are the homies, so.
Yeah, there's people, they have good.
I want to see them do well.
Yeah, I mean, John Baragwanath is like the nicest dude, best skater.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny with him. I remember when we were doing Northern, I want to give this dude boards. I met him once, and I was like, this dude is so good. And I asked, Willie Stackis was, he was on, we were giving him boards from Northern, and he was with us. I was like, Willie, is he sponsored by anybody? And Willie's like, no, man, he's not sponsored by anybody. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, dude, he doesn't ride for anybody. I was like, well, I want to give him boards. He's like, yeah, totally ask him. He'll be hyped. I was like, what size boards are you riding? I think it was like 8.5 or something. So I was like, all right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And I went back into the city. I had some 8.5 something, ready to like, here, if you want boards. And I was like, hey, John, if you're not riding for anybody, I got boards. He's like, no, I get boards from Isle. And I was like, I just looked at Willie, and Willie turned away. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. I was like, no, that's cool. I'm hyped. Isle's really awesome. That's great. But I was just like, Willie, you're killing me. But it was kind of cool because I guess, dude, John Baragwanath wasn't like bragging like, well, I ride for this and that, But
well, yeah, the first day I met him and Sayers
at Chauncey.
At Chauncey, yeah. I mean, I knew right away those dudes just like stood out. Like they're both so good.
Yeah, it's crazy. You watch them there, and it's crazy. They go like doing like dual lines.
Yeah, that's what they were doing that day.
Yeah, those dudes are so good. Both really cool dudes too.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, I've only met Sayers that day, and I think one other time, and he's like, every time I talk to him on Instagram or whatever, he's like super nice.
Yeah, I wish John had a board. That's a big thing that bothers me with them. I wish John had a board on them. Like, I don't know.
They're so new though.
And then the beef with Killing Floor too. Like, I don't know. Vegan John's oh boy. Well, he's the podcast killer. He was the one who made me call it quits last time because he couldn't schedule anything. But I think we have like this, it's like a love-hate relationship, but I think I hate him a lot more than he loves me. So, but no, we're cool. All right.
So Kai said, worst pro you've ever met.
So does that mean like worst person or worst skater?
I think maybe worst experience. There's times where I've met people and had one expectation and definitely did not get that. Dude, every single time I've met Mark Johnson in person, he's the fucking worst. The most miserable fuck I've ever met. Like twice it was like, all right, whatever, I get it. You're on tour. People hate being on tour. It's miserable. But like we met him somewhere that wasn't on a tour and he was still fucking horrible. Which is weird because like then I've talked to him later in life and he's been super cool. But just it was like this running thing where it was like every time we encountered him, he was just miserable as fuck and couldn't even be around him.
Well, it's funny because that seems about right. Because what was their what was the first? Otherness. That didn't last long. He wasn't.
So we were just talking about that.
He wasn't on, it's still around, but he wasn't. He didn't last too long on that. And then it was Business and Co. And then I think wasn't he partners with somebody and they bounced on it? Like,
yeah, I
don't know the
that's
whole
done
thing
now
with
too. Like everybody that rode for it, like Joey was on it, and he left to go to Alien because they just had no direction.
See, I was wondering too with them if they were really small because I remember pandemic time, like Generator. I know this through Vegan John. They were getting rid of people who weren't pressing a lot of boards and then giving other brands the option to take more boards. And Killing Floor was in on that. Like, so he was getting a lot of boards. So he was like a king during the pandemic. And now I'm sure is less royal. But I was wondering if they couldn't even get boards. So those dudes all started bouncing because they can't even get boards to ride. I was like, Ben with Zero. I was like, I can't even counter offer because I don't have boards. So Zero has boards, go ride for him, dude. You know, I also figured they'd have a budget like airfare and stuff, you know.
Yeah, go on trips and whatever.
Don't think they do. Well, we're gonna go to another song and we'll be right back. And we're back. Ton of questions here. Side effect goods. So you ever hear of them, Mitch?
No, I don't think so.
So I'm going to get yelled at, but I want to say it's out of the Twin Cities. It's really cool. Funny. I didn't know what it was. And Labor posted like, you know, new goods from Side Effect in. and this hoodie, and the logo was like it's almost like a whole old world blind, like when those brands were cool, not like, you know, like
Yeah, not current.
90. Yeah. And I was just like, you know, even their ads are like revisions of like old world ads. But I saw a sweatshirt and I thought it was so cool, so I had to order it. But I was like, this is really cool. And then they're awesome. Dude, Rob, they're really cool, dude. Yeah, their promo's cool. They get it. They have a thing a look they're going for, and they do a good job with it. I love anything that's based around memories of the past.
Yeah.
So he's got a couple here for me. All right. So Side Effect Goods. Favorite 101 rider besides Gino? Definitely not Chris Markovich. He's like Chris Markovich and Adam McNatt are like the two on the bottom of the list. Yeah, I always loved Dill. Dill on 101.
Yeah, that Dill like 101, 23.
23 Dill was the best.
Yeah, I remember when he got on Alien, that first graphic that he had where it was like the abduction graphic, but the body had like the crazy hair. That was cool.
Yeah, Dill.
But I think I might go Clyde instead.
So good. There's no wrong answer with this, minus Chris Markovich and Adam McNatt. Yeah. But even like, gosh, I guess there was the one, the World War II video, and Adam McNatt had a part in it. This is like huge big cup pants, like triple flip time, and Adam McNatt was cool in that. He skates to like some crazy like death metal stuff. But it was, I remember then I was like, this guy's sick. Even like, I know I was never a Costin fan, but that video was really good, man. I mean, shit, Gabriel Rodriguez was on 101. I'd say Dill. Dill's mine. Marcus. Oh, the list goes on and on. Your turn, Mitch.
All right. So I don't know how much, like, we haven't really talked about it at all, but I ran contests here. We called it Philly Am. We still call it Philly Am, but we started in 99 and have been doing them ever since. We missed 2020 because of all the pandemic shit. There was just nowhere to do it. And, you know, no one had product to sponsor it and whatever. But so somebody asked best Philly Am stories, and there's a million. We counted last year of how many people came up like skating the contest and have gone pro, and it's like over 30 at this point.
Oh wow.
Which is cool to see, like just all these guys that were like kids,
right?
You know, and see them like become like legit, like Ashad and Tom and all this, like that whole crew. But I mean, there's some crazy stories with that stuff, like crazy parents.
Oh god, I'm sure the parents are the worst. They're either the best or the worst. Like,
yeah, some people had the best parents, and like totally get it. Like, they're not skate coaches,
right?
They're just there to like, no, this is what my kid wants to do. I'll bring him here. That kid, I talked about Ronnie Kestner last week. Like, that kid from the time he was like 12, his parents would drive him to the contest. When we were doing contests and they didn't have power at the spot, his parents would bring us a generator.
Oh wow!
So that we could run the sound system for the day.
Very cool.
Like, super cool. Yeah. But like, never asked for anything. We're like, you know, never like overbearing. But yeah, other people's parents were like freaking out when their kids wouldn't place, or like, oh, I saw him do this, or you weren't watching when this happened. I'm like, yeah, there's 5 people skating. Like, sorry if I missed your kid's air out of the top of the quarter pipe, but no one cares.
Out. Little Timmy's fly out.
Yeah, or grown-ass men's fly out because they never learned that they're whack.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I got another. Here's a good Mike McCarthy Philly Am story. So the one contest, there was a best trick, and it was going on, and it was at X Park, and it's going on and on. And they finally so they would cut it down and be like, all right, you guys stay on, everybody else stay. Like, people that landed shit, they're like, all right, we'll cut it down to you 10. All right, now you 5. So it came down to, they were skating like the deck of this thing, and they would go over the bank ramp to flat as a gap. It came down to Mike and one other guy, and one of them was trying frontside flip, one of them was trying tray flip, both missing, going back and forth. And we're like, all right, whoever makes this is going to get it, whatever. Mike frontside flips it, rides away. This dude can't try it. Everybody's like, give him one more try, blah, 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 whatever. Mike, in his like the height of like ego Mike days, where he was like super good and could get away with all this shit, and everybody loved it, like ate it up, runs up, first try, does that dude's trick down the thing, rides away, just completely shuts it down.
Wow, Mike McCarthy.
It was one of those things where it was like, wow, that everybody should like hate you for that, but it was amazing, hysterical, dude.
Man.
Like, but that's the shit like he could get away with just because he was so like he had such a flair to him that it was so entertaining.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
Mini logo boards.
yeah, that was probably Powell board days.
That's funny. Good for him that he was able to back it up.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. He was like, he could have that ego, but he could definitely back it up too, which was funny.
Yeah. Well, that always helps, though. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of need that. Imagine he, like, messed up on it. Then he would have really looked like a turd.
Oh, totally.
Dave, wait. This is what is the worst manual trick? So, switch frontside 180 to manual is the worst manual trick. And I was told by Ross Norman that is not a real trick and it doesn't count. We were talking about, Ross was asking me about frontside flips or something. So I'm trying to I was like, oh, I can kind of do them. You know, I can do them, but I don't like how they look. And I found a line I filmed. And he was like, so it was like a switch 180 manual and this gap over this thing to manual and then a frontside flip. And he's just like, yeah, frontside flip is cool, dude. But he's like, that first trick's not a trick. He's like, switch 180 to manual is not a trick. And I was like, you know what? It was an easy enough trick for me that I did it so that I could get the frontside flip. So I was like, yeah, it's not. It's like an entry only trick. But that's the worst manual trick because if Ross Norman says it sucks,
Then it sucks.
yeah, I'll take it. That's like the dude.
Yeah,
That's
his
my
stuff
thing.
in that new Politic video was good.
Oh, so good. So good. New Politic video was cool. It's cool, short.
Yeah.
Corey Rawson did a good job. I love the intro. The intro was my favorite part. And not in like a bad way, like, oh, the videos suck, but I thought the intro was really cool.
Yeah, it was short, but it was good. Like everybody's stuff was solid.
Yeah, it's so sick.
Renaud's first line in a Sabotage shirt. I was psyched on that.
Everything. Really cool. There's enough in there, like, you could find something. Exactly, though. Renaud's in it. Like, that's cool enough for me.
To that ledge that they skate over the grate.
Yeah.
Like Renaud had a trick, and I think Ross had a trick over it.
That's in Nashville, I want to say. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's a cool looking spot. It looks like it's like in a fountain or something.
Yeah, really cool. We don't have spots like that by me.
Dave, wait. Best way to annoy Steve.
Did he really ask that?
Yeah.
What is the best way to annoy me? Have Phillips hardware and colored grip tape and rails.
Not pay your bills.
Not paying, yeah. Well, yes. If you're a shop who's skipping out on payment, and especially after stuff sells, that would totally piss me off. If it didn't sell, I get it. If it sold, like, pay up, dude. Dave trying to stir the pot. All right, Ralph Fillion, best spot you've ever skated.
My favorite spot in the last couple years was definitely that plaza at Princeton.
Okay.
It had everything.
You want to laugh? So when I went there, I was like, oh man, these ledges are round. This is super hard. Yeah. Like I remember going there and like, I'm just not a ledge dude and they don't end. So
but when you went, it was all blocked. Like a lot of it was blocked.
No,
off, right?
I was able to skate it. I just suck at ledges and they're round. That's like even like that Albany Plaza. Like I'd want to say is the best spot, but like those ledges are round.
I want to go there so bad.
And I'm just like, they're round. Yeah, it's bad. Because it's kind of like they're so good. I can see how bad I am at ledges. And then it's like, oh. I always want to say I want to skate ledge spots, and then I get to them, and I'm like, I can't do anything. Reggaeton, the new Reggaeton, that was like, I went there in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom section of it now that people skate. I had a lot of fun there. That was really fun. Because there's a taller ledge. That was really fun. And then you have flat ground, and it's like smooth as painted. And then like there's the little ledge against the fence, which I think sucks, but it's cool it's there.
Yeah, I think that's what I liked about Princeton. It's like it had like those little tiny like planter curbs that you could skate to warm up, and it had like the wooden benches, and there was like the forced air, and they had like the out ledges on either side.
It was good when I went there. Like Max Roulette, like he loved it, and he was skating the out ledge off the stairs, and there's so much there in that little plaza.
Yeah, where I've heard you can skate the other parts of the campus, but that plaza is still like you don't get really any time to skate there now.
Yeah, we looked around with Jimmy Chung. We went there. And we went to that those whoops, you know, it's like down, flat, down, flat, down. It's like a roller
oh yeah, the one he did tricks into.
And then we went looking around, and we didn't really see too much, and we got kicked out.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of spots there. You just got to find them because they're kind of like hidden between buildings and stuff. So how about this one? I don't know how to say his last name. So, but James, he's one of the from that cinema shop.
Okay.
He said opinions on big boy pants.
Oh.
So I don't know. I feel like we're both too old to be making opinions on current kids' fashion.
Yeah, I don't get it.
But at the same time, I don't get it. Yeah.
I'm more of a 93 guy if I had to pick the polar pants. And even
Yeah.
them, the bottoms are too wide. I just didn't.
Well, did you see they just made a 92? That's the 93, but tapered at the bottom.
Oh, to take over the Philly pant, I guess.
I guess.
Because those Buttergood pants are, which are another odd one.
Yeah,
I
I
own a
don't know.
bunch of
Those
them.
are too big for me.
I get them in like my waist. I don't have to wear a belt, like, and then they're kind of normal. I see people on it. They can wear them and they look cool. And there's people that it looks terrible on. I don't know. I just hate it when they're
Yeah, it depends on the person.
I hate it when they're cuffed high. Like that,
Okay.
that drives me crazy. Like so
I
when
can
you
see that.
you know, that's just the one thing I just don't like that. That
Yeah, I
look,
don't like the
you know.
socks.
But it's
I've
cool.
been wearing those Grand pants, man. I'm like so psyched on Grand right now.
Their edits are all good. I like all
Yeah.
the edits. You know, it's funny because when it gets into that realm, it's like $100-something pants. It's hard to
Yeah.
pull the trigger. I don't have them anywhere where I'd be able to try them on.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm lucky, like, the shop by me, Bunger, like, they'll get in the Buttergoods pants or they'll get in, you know, I think they get polar jeans and all that stuff now. So you can try them on and then, you know, figure it out from there. If you're going to spend money, I got to try them on.
Well, luckily, my wife makes clothes, so I can get them all shortened because my short-ass legs can't handle stock sizing.
Well, that is a plus. Well, yeah, that's when it gets weird, too. Like, a lot of the skate stuff, they don't have length. You know, they just come one way. It's waist. And then there's no length.
This time she even tapered them in for me so they don't hang over my shoes as much.
Oh, nice.
She went all out.
Perfect. 'Cause that's, like, the worst, too. Like I said, I have a pair of 93s, and I'm like, oh, the bottoms are too big. Like, I hate it when they
I'm going to swallow your shoe.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh, there's worse things out there now, right, than polar big boys.
Oh,
At least it's, you know what,
worse.
it's better than the spandex pants phase, I think. I'd rather see the big ass pants any day.
Yeah.
Like this. Yeah, that was like the worst. All right, you know, we'll go to another song and we'll be right back.
Webcore.